How's it going, y'all? Ross here, and trying to talk Martinsville. Now I did not watch 100% of any of the races this weekend. Again, I was kind of busy. Got over my sickness. But we will talk about the races, of course. Friday night's truck race was a little anticlimactic. Overtime restart, no change. Christian Eckes dominated the race, and he gets, I believe, his second win of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Ty Majeski ends up in second. Chase Purdy in third, probably his best run of the season so far. Nick Sanchez in fourth. Tyler Ankrum in fifth. Taylor Gray in sixth. Raja Karuth in seventh. Sammy Smith in the 7 truck for Spire in eighth. Caden Honeycutt in the 45 in ninth. Nice run for him. And Corey Heim in 10th. There was not really many crashes at all. Much excitement. Another anticlimactic race. The Saturday's Xfinity race, which also ended in an overtime restart, and nothing changed. But a good win for Eric Almirola. Eric Almirola, we all know Eric Almirola, the super speedway merchant in the Cup Series. Obviously, at the end of last year, he left full-time racing in the Cup Series. He now runs part-time in Xfinity for Joe Gibbs, right, for JGR in the 19 and the 20. He was in the 20 this weekend, and he took the win. And he was also in the Dash for Cash, and so he gets that $100K bonus. Sam Mayer somehow ends up in second. He was doing terrible, I remember, in the midway point, but it's a resurge. Chandler Smith ends up in third. Carson Kvapel in the 88, in the Junior Motorsports 88, ends up in fourth. Justin Allgaier in fifth. Sheldon Creed in sixth. Sammy Smith in seventh. Cole Custer in eighth. Jesse Love in ninth. And with his first decent run of the season, Josh Williams in 10th. Josh Williams was also in the Cup race. He's on Sunday in the 16, but I didn't notice him at all. And also, Shane Van Gisbergen continues to run pretty well, finishing 11th. And then the 19 car was driven by Taylor Gray. He ends up 13th. Drivers that DNF'd in this race, include Riley Herbst, Brandon Jones, Jeb Burton, Austin Hill, Corey Heim, AJ Allmendinger, and Parker Retzlaff. Obviously, there was a sort of a big crash, a stack up on a restart. But other than that, the race wasn't really much of excitement. And then we get to the main thing, yesterday's Cup race. The Cookout 400. Again, another anticlimactic finish, another overtime restart, and nothing changed. And celebrating 40 years of the day that they got their very first win in NASCAR, Hendrick Motorsports dominates in the Cup Series. William Byron gets his third win of the season, winning at Martinsville, holding off his teammates Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott's starting to pop up now. Is he returning to form? Maybe. I don't know. We've been to 2 short tracks, and he's been up there in both of those. So, so 40 years ago yesterday, Hendrick Motorsports got their very first career win in the Cup Series at Martinsville with Jeff Bodine behind the wheel. And since then, Hendrick Motorsports is now the winningest team in NASCAR history. And William Byron gets his third win of the season. He won the Daytona 500, of course, and he won a COTA a couple weeks ago. Byron was really running, top 10 for most of the race. And then the final stage, the final pit stop, he was able to catch up to Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin and pass them both. So, good job for William Byron. Like I said, Larson in second, Elliott in third. Bubba Wallace ends up fourth. He just never really went anywhere closer. Ryan Blaney ends up fifth. Another good run for Joey Logano. He ends up in sixth. Tyler Reddick in seventh. Alex Bowman in eighth. So all 400 cars in the top 10. Ryan Preece ends up in ninth, and Chase Briscoe ends up in 10th. Denny Hamlin, who I mentioned, was fourth when that final caution came out. He decided to pit. He ended up finishing 11th. 11th. Pretty much all the rest of the Toyotas did not show up. Martin Truex Jr. nowhere to be seen. Ty Gibbs nowhere to be seen. Eric Jones, John Nemechek, they need to work on stuff. And then Christopher Bell DNF'd, I believe. He blew a tire like 2 different times. Kyle Busch was nowhere to be seen. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him. And I love Kyle Busch. He's my favorite driver. I don't know what is going on with him. But the short track package on its own is really bad. There was barely any passing. I did not watch any of the Cup race at home. I watched either at my cousin's house, on the Fox Sports app, on my phone, or in Red Robin, on one of the TVs in Red Robin. So that race was not that good. And it was very bad for short track standards. They needed to up the horsepower so then these drivers could have a little bit of a challenge, so then they could start making passes. It's really frustrating. Luckily, we go to a high bank Texas Motor Speedway next weekend. I believe all 3 series are going. That's also a bad track, but it's still a wild card track, to be honest. So we'll see what happens. The Cup race will be on FS1 once again this weekend at Texas, and I think at 3 or 3:30. Try 3, I guess, just to make sure. But anyway, I give Martinsville a 6 out of 10. If it wasn't for the overtime restart, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. This is Ross Belkin signing off, needing a shave. And yeah, see you guys next week. Bye.